and increase vibrations depending on how spicy. I feel like a kinky librarian. Oh! Alright, you get...
I am your father.
Fluids everywhere. I'd like to report death by heat stroke. I need to open a window. Help me. Oh.
Why are girls so hot?
That is a sex scene.
In this video, me, Jessie on YouTube, who is very well known for not liking romance and being very unmoved by romance, am going to be getting into the bathtub, getting those jets going, getting the windows nice and steamy while reading the steamiest romance books that I have on my shelves. I'm nervous, y'all. So I am going to be giving you the rundown on the 4 books that I am going to be reading in the bathtub with y'all, page by page, line by line. But before I get into the nitty and the gritty on the books that I'm going to be featuring in this video, I need to give a big shout out to the sponsor of today's video, which is also giving me a helping hand while reading these sexy books, and that is none other than Bellesa. My friends over at Bellesa are giving out free vibrators and gift cards for toys to anybody who signs up for the giveaway. And one of the best things about this company is that they are women owned, and we absolutely love to see it. And their company doesn't just focus on sex toys, they focus on sex education, erotica, and their beautiful mission is to empower everybody and to help them embrace their sexuality. Sometimes companies are like, yeah, our packaging is discreet, and then the packaging shows up in the shape of a freaking eggplant. Their packaging is actually discreet, and I love the different cases that they come in. So this is the demi wand, and it comes in this case, and this is what it looks like. It is literally so friggin' discreet. It is waterproof, which I absolutely love. It works for all body types. It has a really flexible neck, which is very, very nice, and it doesn't have any of those annoying patterns. I really, really love the thump, which comes in this cool green case. I think that they absolutely know what they're doing. There is like a suction mode on this end, and then a more like, you know, mode on the other one. It's just so freaking well designed. These are the most comfortable toys that I've ever used. This has powerful realistic thrusting with 5 insertable inches. It vibrates, it suctions, it thumps. It features Bellesa's improved pleasure jet technology with true feel vibrations that naturally complement the suction at its targeted base. It fits and charges in a discreet carrying case, is waterproof and USB rechargeable, and made from premium quality silicone. Then we have the Pebble. Look at this. Absolutely love it. It is so comfortable. It is so easy to use. And my favorite thing about it is not just the design, but that it doesn't have any of those annoying power modes. You don't have to go through Morse code. If you know, you know. Definitely check out the Bellesa products in the description box, and you're gonna see them throughout this video. Get yourself some ice water because you are about to have lots and lots of steam. I am so freaking excited to reveal the books that we're going to be reading in this video. We have Dating Dr. Dill, and I love me a good medical story. I love books about doctors. I always have. I used to really want to be a doctor. This one, I'm not even really sure of the plot of it. My mother is making salsa, so I don't know if you can hear the blender going in the background. But then we have For Butter or Worse, and this is by Erin La Rosa. I'm really, really excited about this one because this was sent to me by my friend who I absolutely love, and I'm really, really excited to get to go into this food baking romance because y'all know that I really, really do enjoy food romances quite heavily, and this is one of those hate to love stories that people love so freaking much, but I haven't seen a whole lot of hype for this book in particular. And it also has that reality TV show component where she is kind of forced to kind of fake date her co-star, and I do enjoy the reality TV trope. I know that that's probably odd given my reading taste, but for some reason I do enjoy it. Then we have Get a Life Chloe Brown, which I'm currently in the process of reading for another video, and I cannot believe it, but I'm loving this book so far. I'm loving what I've read. As y'all know, this is one of the most famous modern romance books out there. It features a chronically ill British black woman who is falling in love with her building's supervisor, and it's just really sweet. It's really tender. I actually have the biggest crush on Chloe Brown, so I'm excited to get into the sex scenes with y'all. I am going to be reading Milk Fed, which is a sapphic Jewish body positive romance that I have been raving about, I think, for 2 years now, trying to get people to read. I am so excited to be getting back into this book. I do want to reread it this year, so I'm really looking forward to getting to relive these sex scenes because I don't really remember the details of them. Without further ado, let's get into the bathtub. So I was trying to add bubbles So I was just squirting this and I accidentally got it all over the wall, and then I remembered that I needed help getting like a thumbnail shot. So I called my mom in here to ask her to help me take a thumbnail, and I was like, hey mom, this is gonna be, and she goes, weird? And then she goes, what's with the jizz on the wall? Wait, where are you going? I need you. Don't leave me like my father. Okay.
I never.
It was giving abandonment.
I am your father.
No!
Yes.
Woof. Okay, so...
Come on, this is weird. Come on.
It's not that weird, Mom.
I do understand.
Don't make it weird. Okay, so basically, Mom is gonna take a photo of me, but I'm gonna have the books over the naughty bits for the thumbnail. So that's why you're here.
Okay.
Why is Akasha here?
She's my backup. Literally.
Okay, you ready? Okay, my biggest fucking fear is that, no, not me losing water. Okay, my biggest fear is that I am going to drop one of these books in the water, so. How scared can you really be though if the books are in the bath with you? It's the equivalent to a guy being like,
I'm so afraid of losing you.
and then cheating on you. Cross your fingers, cross your toes, and pray for a clumsy gay. We are going to get kick-started off with Get a Life, Chloe Brown. And y'all just, I cannot believe how much I'm enjoying this book. Like, I have been thriving, thriving and throbbing while reading this book. It is shockingly good. Like, I was not expecting to love Chloe Brown so much. I have the biggest crush on this girl, the biggest crush on this woman. Like, I don't care about Red. I am not at all impressed by him. I don't care how many rings he wears on his fingers. Unless your name is Wenwu, I do not care about how many rings you wear. Oh my god, sorry, I just got distracted. So I'm going to read y'all a sex scene that I have not even read myself yet, and I just flustered all the way. She thought he would kiss her. He bit her instead. The tip of his nose bumped hers. His big hand cradled her jaw, and his teeth grazed her lower lip, tugging slightly. She'd felt that tug right between her thighs, a molten rush. He bit harder. And why does molten rush sound like a treat at Applebee's? He bit again, harder, and arousal shivered over her skin. Her nipples tightened, as if they were trying to catch his attention like a pair of shameless hussies. She approved. Not she approved. More bites everywhere. I can't. Clearly telepathy wasn't his strong suit because he didn't rip off her clothes and devour her. Am I losing water? How do I still hear draining? No! Not the bubbles! Alright, timing. Shoot, now my paws are wet. Okay, what if I sit on it? That came out wrong. What if I sit here? Straining faster. I get it, I have no ass. I get it. Wait. Where's the sweet spot? Okay, I think I just have to kneel on it. And maybe it won't drain too quickly. We're just gonna move on. Okay. Alright, continuing. Thank God this is waterproof because I almost dropped this. Okay, take two. His tongue swept out to soothe the tingle left behind by those bites, except it didn't work. That wet slide turned the tingle into a spark, a current, a bolt of lightning. She moaned. He pulled back slowly, slowly. There, he whispered. More, she told him. Know what I'd do with you if you were in my bed? His voice was gravel and bittersweet longing. I cannot with these. Why is he? Why is he a fall candle? Kiss you until I couldn't taste myself anymore. Just fruit tea and too much mouth.
I don't think the bath approves.
Why are you draining so quickly? I've literally never had this problem before. It's just draining along with my self-esteem. How do you do that? His voice cracked as if she'd ruined his life by moisturizing after she showered. He shook his head and laughed, apparently at himself, not laughing at his own jokes. I want to make you cry. I bet you get like that, don't you? When it's too much, when it feels too good. She'd been wrong about his lack of telepathy. He was an excellent mind reader. Maybe. sometimes. He groaned, the thumb stroking her cheek move lower, parting her lips. She bit him back. He swallowed so hard she heard it. She sucked his thumb into her mouth. He groaned again. Then he ruined everything. Tell me why you stopped me before.
Not story time.
She hesitated, uncertainty draining most of her pleasure. She couldn't tell him, not without revealing too much of herself. What was she supposed to say? That she already liked him far too much? Okay, oh my god, this is getting so boring. We're skipping ahead, just skipping ahead. As she'd hope, her crisp, mocking tones widened his smile. Shut up, come here. Her stomach dipped as he lifted her, then put her between his spread thighs. Her back was against his chest. He leaned against the stone pillar of the monument they were absolutely not about to defile. Well, she's about to defile his monument, so it's only fair. From his position behind her, he murmured in her ear, "Comfortable?" His breath shivered over her skin. She felt his voice rumble in his chest, pleasure zipping down her spine. "Yes," she breathed. "Are you cold?" "No."
Why is this 20 questions?
"Good," he said. "Let's play I Want." She settled against him, put her hands on his thick forearms as if she could stop him from letting go. "I want?" As in, I want to trace the tattoos on your chest with my tongue? That sounds disgusting. A long breath shuddered out of him. "Yeah, like that." I don't know why he sounds like Peter Baelish from Game of Thrones in my head. The fact that he was turned on by something as simple as her words made her brave, reckless, wild for a woman like her. As in, she thought for a moment, flicking through fantasies she'd never let herself fully acknowledge. "I want to lie naked with you just to know what your skin feels like against mine." "You're too good at this," he shifted behind her. The hard jut of his erection hit the base of her spine. "I want to see your cock," she blurted, then bit her lip. Oh my god. Oh my god, she is so cute. Like, I literally love her. He does not deserve her. Oh my god. He groaned, pressed his face against the back of her neck. "My turn. Tell me." Why is there so much talking in this sex scene? Just, you know what I mean? Just put it somewhere. Put it anywhere, okay? I will demonstrate. I feel like an air traffic controller right now, but I'm like, can we? No? Okay. I'm so bored. I was so excited about this and now I'm just
Bored.
She whimpered and the sound seemed to spur him on. He pressed his palm against her pussy, cupping her possessively over her underwear, and the same moan shuddered through both of them at once. This scene is doing nothing for me. I don't know about y'all, but this is doing nothing, nothing for me. You are outside and it's cold. You're soaked. "Chloe, please," she gasped, her hips jerking forward. "Please." The heel of his hand was a delicious pressure against her swollen clit. How did he know where to touch? How to touch? He was some kind of vaginal magician. Alright, I need to read something gay. That's not doing it for me. That sex scene was so not steamy that my bath drained itself of its fluids. We are going to switch to a book that does not and will not and could not ever let me down. I do not remember a whole lot of detail about Milk Fed by Melissa Broder because when I read it the first time I just was in a fever dream. It was the audiobook situation and it was just unmatched. It was quite simply unfucking matched. So I'm really, really excited to reread these sex scenes and I have some of the scenes highlighted that I want to re-experience with y'all for the first time like on camera. And this is like this book, you know how a lot of people are really obsessed with Get a Life Chloe Brown, the sex scenes in there, or what's the book with the man who likes to be milfed like a cow, Moo Moo, that guy, Aaron Blackford from, God, I've worked so hard to forget that this book existed. You know, the mediocre giant. What is the freaking book called? It's called the Spanish Love Deception. I was gonna say the Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. People love the sex scenes in those books. A lot of romance readers are obsessed with them. That's their go-to, like their favorite dream guy, that kind of thing. My go-to sex scenes are the kinky, sapphic, sex-positive, fluids everywhere. Queen, dirty talk, disgusting, filthy, female sex scenes in Milk Fed. If y'all were moved by Aaron Blackford's milking, you should read Milk Fed, because it took me so long to understand that this was a nipple, by the way. First of all, I'm gonna try and fix this bathtub situation. Apparently this bathtub has more holes in it than my self-esteem. So I'm gonna try, because the water was like so much higher. Ooh, this bra makes my cha-chas look, they're getting cut off one day, so I'm just gonna enjoy them while it lasts. Is this plug doing nothing for me the way my father did nothing to raise me as a child? Okay, we're gonna have a different angle situation. Situations. That's the only lyric of that song that I know, because I'm a terrible, terrible 90s baby. You gotta be smart about it. Yeah. Okay, that's all I know. My girl, it's just a day you don't have to call. It's okay, girl, cause I'ma be single tonight. I don't know what's wrong with me. Actually, I do. I know exactly what's wrong with me, and that's why I'm in the bathtub reading sex books alone. Okay, ew, what happened? I'm gonna have a bubble moment. Oh my god, I don't know if it was even on camera, but the water spurted up and it got my book, and this is the one book I didn't want to get wet. This is the one, out of these 4 books, this is the one book that I cared about the most. I hate, it feels homophobic. No, and it was in such good condition. I mean, look, I did this to myself. I do understand that. I did it to myself. Well, it did splash all over a steamy scene, so why not just get into it? She parted her lips. I'd never been, oh my god, nothing is more gay than putting lipstick on another girl. I examined the shapes and shades of her face, studying her. Each feature was its own inhabitable world. Her hair was the color of cream soda or papyrus scrolls streaked with nightlight. Her eyebrows were the color of lions, lazy ones dozing in sunlight or eating butter at night with their paws by the lantern. Lick, lick, bitch. Her eyes, icebergs for shipwrecking. Oh. Whew, that makes me want to pour hot wax on myself. Lashes, smoke, and platinum. Her skin was the Virgin Mary, also very baby. Her nose, adorable, breathing.
What?
Upper lip, pink, peony. Lower lip, rose. The teeth were trickier, but her inner mouth was easy. Valentine hearts and hell. I reached into my purse and got the lipstick I had bought for her. I wanted to bring that inner mouth out, make everything red. Put it on me. Okay. I unwrapped the plastic and took the tube out of the cardboard box. I clicked it open. Pucker up, I said. She parted her lips. I'd never been so close to her face before. Her scent was very clean, soapy. The way she had her mouth open just slightly drove me crazy. I wanted to stick my finger in there. I wanted to touch her saliva, use it to trace the pronounced bow of her upper lip, paint her with her own spit. Her lips were already so wet. They were too wet, in fact, for me to correctly put on the lipstick. Set me on fire, it would have been less painful. Oh my god, I need to open a window. I need to open a window. Help me. Oh, it's snowing. Why are girls so hot? Oh my god. Oh, I love this book and I'm so sad that I got it wet, but let's be honest, it was bound to happen eventually, if you know what I mean. Alright, there's a sex scene on page 202 that I wanted to read to y'all. I feel like a kinky librarian and I kind of love it. Then I took her hand in mine again and gently tickled the inside of her palm, just as she had allowed me to do at the movies. This time we weren't in the dark, so I could watch her reaction to everything I was doing. Her face grew flushed and I noticed a sheen of perspiration on her forehead and dotted her upper lip. I went even slower, gentler. I moved closer to her, our lips almost touching. I could feel her warmth and I stayed there for what felt like a very long time. Her breath smelled sweet. I kissed her. She made an O sound into my mouth as she took a breath, then slowly introduced her tongue. I sucked it like a piece of liver she was kind enough to feed me. She moaned into my mouth. Her throat clicked a little and I drank up all the sounds. It's giving Hannibal the Cannibal. It's giving Hannibal the Cannibal but lesbian. Oh my god. Gently I kissed her lower lip. I gently kissed the, I can't even speak like
Gently, I kissed her lower lip, the side of her mouth, her chin, and then the plump white area under her chin. I began to suck on her there, not hard, just hard enough to nurse for a moment like a calf drinking of its mother. Then I moved my mouth to where her Adam's apple was, just underneath all that flesh, and sucked there for a while. I was hungry to taste each of her moles, but I took it slow and teased myself when I was just beginning a big feast. Oh my god, the fucking chills. The fucking chills. She was an infinite planet with so many different territories on which to set up camp and play. If I had eons, I'd still never finish exploring her. I sensed that I could feel what she was feeling. She shivered at my every touch, and I wanted to make her feel even more. I wanted us both to go even higher. Without removing any clothing, I pinched her nipples through the fabric and squeezed her breasts harder, circling my fingers around her areolae, gently milking her with my hands. I swore I could smell her pussy now, earthy and creamy, like a cool basement wafting up from between her thighs. Then suddenly she pulled away. "It's getting late," she said, my spit still on her upper lip. "I'm going to have to go." I wanted to say, stay, sleep over. But instead, I kissed her on the forehead, on each of her eyelids. "You're going to come back, aren't you?" I asked. "Oh, Rachel," she said, in a way that sounded sad. She paused for a moment. "Yes," she said, "I will come back." "When?" I asked. "Tomorrow. Come back tomorrow." Her face lit up at the possibility. 911? Yeah. I'd like to report death by heat stroke. It's me, I'm dying by heat stroke. Help! I'm single and I can't get a girlfriend. This book is so much more than just smuttiness. It is so body positive, and I just love that it's about two Jewish girls who are like coming to admit their sexual interests, and it's like so innocent in some ways and so filthy in other ways, and it just really does an amazing job of capturing what it feels like to like be queer and have that will they, won't they, do they like me the same way, and then learning like how to navigate sex with that person, you know what I mean? They do that so well. It's just so mystical and beautiful and like divine feminine. It's so amazing. Like, I have not read a more body positive book in I don't know, ever. It's just such a beautiful celebration of non-thin bodies, of Jewish culture and heritage, and I love everything about MilkFed. Like, if you're comfortable with steamy scenes, which I assume that you are if you're still watching this video, you should definitely read this book because it is just so much more than a sexy love story. Okay, so we are gonna skip ahead to, oh god, not everything was pink. Everything was blue. His skin, his hands, his jeans. I don't know all of the lyrics, but I like the song. No more splashing. Well, I guess it doesn't even fucking matter because everything is wet. My hair, my skin, my... Oh my god, I'm gonna get demonetized. This vibrator has, I think it has 5 speeds. So what I'm gonna do is like click for every amount of steamy increase, I will hit a different mode. So I'm gonna start it on mode 1, and then I will go up to 5 if it is like the amount of steam that is warranting of a 5. Does this make any sense? I don't know. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna start the sex scene. Oh my gosh, she called her a s'more. That's so cute. "You're a s'more," I said, kissing her on the cheek. I felt strangely protective of her, motherly even. She surprised me by taking my face in both her hands and kissing me on the lips. She looked me in the eyes before she did it. We kissed slowly, making tiny smacking sounds. I let my tongue wander into her mouth, not a lost ingenue, heard her swallow. Then her hands drifted from my face to the back of my head. She pulled me to her harder. I went to her breast and rubbed my face over her blouse firmly so she could really feel me. Her nipples hardened beneath the cotton. She didn't stop me when I unbuttoned the top button, then the next and the next until her blouse was open and I could see her body full of gravity, pale and momentous. Her bra, a modest beige, strained to contain her breasts. Below that rolled the waves of her belly, her navel wide and deep, moving up and down with her breath. I was so grateful for everything I got to see, that she was letting me gaze at her like this. I hugged her and we swayed a little. Then I climbed on her lap so that I was straddling her, my legs spread wide, feeling strong and powerful in my thighs as I kissed her wet mouth, unhooked her bra from behind. I took off her bra slowly, and her breasts spilled out, magnificent, weighty pendulums, nothing like mine. Her nipples were as big as silver dollars, tinted the palest pink. Beneath her areolae were a network of veins, blue and purple, bringing forth the blood that sustained her. Oh my god, I love this book. I sucked on one nipple, tickling, squeezing, and giving little pinches to the other, wishing I had 2 mouths with which to suck her. No, I wished I had more than that. One for each breast, one for her neck, one for her navel, her mouth, her pussy, her eyelids. At any moment, I thought that something wondrous might come out. Deeply sweet, butterscotch topping, warm caramel, honey. I moved to the other nipple, kissed it, then lapped there ever so gently as though it were her clit. I got overexcited and nibbled a little, and she gave a squeal, but when I looked at her face, she was smiling. Everything was pink. How does this even happen? How does writing get so sexy? That is a sex scene for me, right? We're talking about me, myself, and I. That milk fed, like, I thought that I was loving Chloe Brown, and I am really enjoying it. But when I read sex scenes like this, I'm like, man, okay, that makes Chloe Brown look like a walk in the park. This got me on fire. This is, oh my goodness, like that. I'm sorry, like books like Chloe Brown and The Spanish Love Deception and those just, I don't know, they don't do for me what this does for me, you know? But I like some filth. I like some filth. And next up, we're gonna go into For Butter or Worse. And I'm very, very excited about this one because we love me a food romance in this house. Okay, so now I'm about to read to you one of the most filthy things that I've ever witnessed. Nina watched Jasmine bread and bake the cauliflower, mashed tomatoes in a pot with the garlic, spices and onion, then pan fry a homemade tortilla. She piled the baked cauliflower onto the tortilla shell, then drizzled a healthy amount of the homemade salsa across the top. Huh? So good. I will turn it on and increase vibrations depending on how spicy it actually is. I feel like one of those really cool influencers on Book Talk or Bookstagram that speak into the little microphone while they're while they're filming their video. I'm having way too much fun with it. Doesn't it look like a microphone? Like testing. Okay. She ran her nails up and through the hair on his thighs, guiding her hands towards his waiting dick. I'm not even turning the vibrator on for that. When she reached him, she started with one hand gently running over the tip, then down his shaft. He sucked in a breath as she tightened her grip around him. When her hand reached the base of him, she opened her mouth and her tongue flicked his head over and over while she slowly worked his shaft with her hand. I am so sorry. Why is it that when it said her tongue flicked his head, I was immediately picturing her licking the top of his bald head? And I know he's not bald, but that's just where my mind went. I hate my life. Then she ran her tongue along the underside of his shaft, licking him in one smooth motion. When she trailed her tongue back up, she stopped at his tip and popped it into her mouth. Not a Jolly Rancher. Why is it a Jolly Rancher? Sucking him into her with tight pressure. His hands went for her hair, gripping her as she brought her mouth down the length of him, sucking firmly as she went up and down his cock. All right, I will give that. You get... Oh my god, the jet started going. No! Okay. Alright. this video up because I just kind of want to sit and lounge in the bubbles. The bubbles were really nice. He needed her. He needed more of her. He reached down and brought her up, releasing her mouth's hold on his dick. "We're going in the bedroom," he said. "I need to taste you." He kissed her mouth, tasting her and himself as they slowly made their way to the bed. Okay. Her dress was tight, but he smoothly lifted the dress up her thighs and around her hips until he could see her panties. He pulled them down and she was wet and hot for him. He moved onto the bed, lying on his back, then motioned for her to join. As she crawled towards him, he said, "Turn around. I want you to come in my mouth." "Are we about to 69? Nina asked. He hesitated before replying, "Like it's 2069. She laughed, then positioned herself over him. I'm not gonna lie, I would have walked out in that moment. And y'all know that I love bad jokes, but that was rough. Before he could taste her, he felt her mouth meet his cup. I'm sorry, you ruined the tiny spark of joy that I felt for y'all, so I'm turning this off. You gotta work your way back up. So we got to level 2, okay? She took the full length of him until he was buried deep in her mouth. "That's so fucking good," he said, but he didn't linger long. He had to taste her. He reached his hands up to grab her ass and he gently pressed her down until her pussy was directly over his mouth. His tongue reached for her clit and he drew her bud in. He nibbled at the tip of her and felt her buck against him. He could tell she liked the pressure, so he took her in again and again, rolling his tongue over and around her clit in playful circles while sucking her into his mouth. Okay, you get level 1 for that. All right. Her hips began to rock as she bobbed her mouth up and down his cock and rode his mouth with her pussy. Oh, okay, all right, you get. "Leo, I'm so close," she said, then returned her mouth to his cock. He squeezed her ass harder and sucked her into his mouth again. He rolled his tongue as he sucked more on her clit. She stilled over him and her legs tightened. "Fuck. Oh, fuck," she choked out. He held her still so he could continue to pleasure her as she moaned and finished on him. He reached down and rubbed the shaft of his throbbing cock. As he felt her come, he tightened as well. He pointed his cock away, letting his load come on top of the sheets. That whole scene, that was cute. That was better. That was sexy. Okay. I'm actually super excited to read this book in its entirety. Ooh, okay, let's see what Dr. Dill has in order. Let's see what he is prescribing in the bedroom, shall we? "Use your words," Prem said as he leaned forward and unbuttoned her waistband. Her stomach quivered. "What do you want?" "I want you to kiss my... You are a fucking strong, capable woman," he said. His voice was hard now and the lines of his shoulders stiff from tension. He was unrelenting. "Come on, ask for what you want, Rena. I promise you, I want the same thing too." I love that. It's getting a little too steamy up in here. Okay, we gotta change positions. I have a handheld situation for this. I'm so sorry if you see flashes of vag, I apologize. This looks like their first sex scene. We're 200 pages into the book, which means that we get a bit of a slow burn, and I like that. I like me a slow burn in this household. He groaned and ran his hands over her back until he was cupping her butt. It was her turn to groan. She didn't know how long they stood there in front of the window, sipping from each other's mouths, but the more they kissed, slowly, deeply, the more Karina eased closer to Prem, enjoying the feel of him, burning under the slow exploration of his tongue and lips. Then he pulled away. "What?" she said with a gasp. She was breathing fast. What happened? Prem took Karina's glasses again and tossed them on the coffee table. "My glasses! Gah!" It literally says gah. Like jinkies. Not loving that. He tossed her over his shoulder in a firefighter's grip and carried her through his apartment. In her life, she had never been tossed over someone's shoulder. She didn't think anyone could do something like that. But Prem kept walking like he was on a stroll with a handful of daisies instead of a handful of ass, she shouted as the sting on her left cheek sent shockwaves straight to her groin. "Prem, you just smacked my ass." "That I did." She swore she could hear him chuckle. He dropped her onto a soft king bed with a gray spread. If the kiss didn't do it, the bed tossing sure as hell made her wet. Karina sat up, resting on her elbows, then homed in on the bulge in his pants. "Prem." I thought it was honed in, but this says home, like I'm going home to the bulge in his pants. He whipped off his top and his pants, leaving on a pair of boxer briefs and a fitted white t-shirt. Anything else, he said. His voice was hoarse, and he watched her in a way that made her so aware and tingly at all the same time, whatever. Damn it, he was teasing her. He definitely left on the boxer briefs because it drove her mad, but maybe that was a good thing. This way they could undress in stages. Yeah, I'm bored. I'm over that. We're just gonna moonwalk right out of that situation. That is no. I just think I shot myself in both feet by making Milk Fed the second book. I should have finished with Milk Fed. That's what she said. Whatever the last two books were not doing it for me. So that is gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If I get demonetized from this video, it's been real. I had a good run, which I probably will. I have never used so many sexually explicit words on my channel. All right, so the sponsors information is going to be linked down below. Thank you so much for sponsoring, and hopefully y'all had a good time watching it. If you want more chaotic content from me, I do have a Patreon where I make exclusive content for my patrons only. This month we are reading Tread of Angels by Rebecca Roanhorse. We have a book club, Discord, live shows, live streamed Netflix parties, writing sprints, reading sprints, all of the things. If you are interested in my upcoming novel, I share excerpts from it with my top tier patrons. The Patreon is Hannibal themed because I am a huge Hannibal. So if you want to become a Sweetbreads, Artery, Heart, or a Lung patron, those tiers are there for you. You can also check me out on my Instagram where I get chaotic over there as well. But all my information is going to be linked down below, along with some of my more popular and recent videos that you guys might enjoy. But without further delay, I just want to say big thank you to the sponsor of today's video. I bet you are regretting your decision to associate your brand with me. But hey, we all live and learn, we all make mistakes. Y'all don't forget to check out the sponsors' amazing products because they actually are pretty freaking dope, I'm not gonna lie. And I'm not just saying that because they gave me lots of money. Without further delay, I will see y'all very soon. Keep reading.